Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name's Blossoms, and today I wanted to talk about whether or not you should potentially summon on either the character banner or the weapon banner. I feel like these are important points just to illustrate to everybody for whether they may want to save for, the leaked content that was in 1.5, or if they want to go ahead and blow some of their primos right now, and whether or not these weapons are worth it or not. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pop into the video. So first and foremost, we will talk about the character banner, and I will say this is probably one of the weaker character banners we've had. I do love each of these characters, at least the 4 stars. I don't have Venti in their own separate rights, but I don't think all of them really shine until you get a constellation or two. So if you do need some constellations on them, then maybe this is a good banner for you. And as for Venti, he's a really strong unit, but even though I don't have him, I'm not going to really be summoning for him. He does do an amazing job at crowd control. He's a very strong unit. He can do really good DPS, don't get me wrong, but he's mostly used for the utility of putting everything in one place and then being able to deal big damage to everything in that one place. So that's mostly his use. And the fact that I already have a C6 Sucrose myself is doing more than enough for me personally, so I just don't really see the appeal of trying to waste all of my primos that I'm going to be earning throughout 1.4 on Venti. So this banner just isn't worth it for me, and I want you guys to go ahead and ask yourselves, do you think it's worth it for yourself? And if you don't mind leaks, maybe check out some of the ones that have come out recently to determine whether or not you want to spend your primos now or later. The decisions are truly up to you. And not to mention the fact that the next banner is likely going to have Tartaglia and Rosaria is going to be a brand new character. So you might just be better off saving for that, especially because of the fact, even though Rosaria is only a 4-star character, it still could take you a little bit to get her on the banner. It might take you, 20, 30 pulls. And even then, that's still pretty lucky, It's just all about the luck on the draw there. You could get it in 5, who knows, it's all random. But my point is, even though she's a 4-star, she could still be a little bit harder to get than most people are probably assuming. So you might want to actually save your primos for her if you're interested in a new character like her, rather than getting Venti, the utility character here. Now, talking about the weapon banner here, this is actually far more interesting than the character banner, at least in my opinion. The 5-star bow here is pretty cool, don't get me wrong. It's pretty strong, especially on a character like Venti. That's why, it's with his banner. But it's not like the most broken weapon. You can get away with using plenty of other bows in the game and achieve really, good results. This is just kind of like a win more button, and I don't think it's really necessary. If it really appeals to you, really speaks to you, I guess go for it, even though weapon banners are kind of a scam in the first place. My general rule for weapon banners is to first and foremost ask yourself if you're okay with getting either of these 2 weapons and then stopping. Because otherwise you might just be in for a painful time. I know it's going around the community lately how Tectone spent hundreds of dollars before he even got 1 copy of Staff of Homa. So that just kind of goes to show the weapon banner can really scam you out. I also wanted to briefly mention that the 4-star bow that we're getting for free from the event is going to be able to get some free refinements as well, and that it also has an elemental mastery substat, and its passive is pretty rock solid. So I don't really see the point of getting the 5-star bow here. Yes, the 5-star bow is definitely better than the free one we're getting, and there are even 4-star bows that are better than the free one we're getting, but at the same time, it's a really good option to have. It'll do just fine, and it's not really going to have a problem clearing any of the content. So I would just take the free bow over potentially spending loads of money on this 5-star bow, as I just really don't think it's worth it. But anyway, that's just my thought on that as well. I wanted to add that in there. However, these 4 stars here are really interesting. These brand new 4 stars. I'm going to put up some images of the Alley Flash and Wine and Song at their max levels here. Mihoyo actually shared that with us. And you will note here that the Alley Flash and Wine and Song are pretty solid. The Alley Flash most notably having an incredibly high base attack. It's comparable to 5 stars. Its base attack is close to 5-star status, which is really interesting for a 4-star. And then its passive isn't too bad either, giving you a certain percent more of damage. If you don't take any damage, if you take damage, then you have to wait for like 5 seconds before you get that buff again. But regardless, that's still a pretty good buff. I don't necessarily know who we'd put it on quite yet, but I could totally see this being a really strong option in the future. Elemental Mastery substat isn't the worst thing in the world either. That's just going to make sure your reactions are doing better. And then with the passive on top of that, I can only imagine how strong this weapon can be in the right character's hands. But as I said, I don't exactly know who it fits on yet, so you might want to hold off on it. But I think I'm personally going to try and shoot for it just to see if I can actually land myself a copy of both the Catalyst and the Alley Flash, because I think they might be a little bit worth it. And speaking of the Catalyst here is actually pretty interesting. Energy recharge substat, and a pretty decent one at that. It's not like the worst energy recharge. Pretty solid base attack, nothing too crazy. It's not like 5-star status like the sword here. And then its passive I do find interesting. The fact that you actually can gain some speed on your sprints and some more damage to your normal attacks is really cool. If you are personally like a Catalyst main DPS user, you might want to consider this, especially for somebody like Mona, because Mona loves energy recharge. So getting that energy recharge substat and then getting some extra normal attacks, and then you could have like the 4-piece Hydro set on Mona. This really is kind of a Mona Catalyst to me. It also seems like it might be pairing with a future character if that character works the way the leaks have said they do, but we'll see. That's a whole nother topic. I do find this Catalyst interesting. I don't think it's necessarily like the best Catalyst ever and you absolutely need it, but I find that its effect seems pretty darn fun, so I think I kind of want to try and grab a copy of it for myself as well. Well, that's pretty much going to be it for the video. I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts on the current rate up banners right now, and kind of where I stand with them. I'm actually a little bit interested in the weapon banner for once, because it has some interesting 4 stars. I didn't summon on the last one because those 4 stars didn't really interest me, but these 4 stars seem to be pretty cool, and they have some neat effects that I think could be really useful in the future. So I want you guys to consider that. I don't think they're necessarily the best in slot or anything, but they seem pretty cool, and like they'll have some interesting utility in the future. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like below and let me know your thoughts on the current weapon banner or character banner, whether you're saving for Zarya or maybe you're saving for some even more future content. Let me know in the comments below. But that's going to be it from me today. I'll catch you guys later in the next one. Peace.